Well, hello there. So, I've been told sauerkraut is pretty easy to make at home. And I would like to learn how to do that because it's pretty expensive at the store. I've been buying my sauerkraut at Whole Paycheck and it's very delicious. Especially this brand, Firefly Kitchens. Emerald City Kraut is my favorite flavor of Firefly Kitchens. Can you see it? Can you see it? But if I can get away with making my own for less money, I'm all for that. So let's see if this works. My friend Kit told me about this recipe, thekitchen.com, but leave out the E, because they spell kitchen, kitchen.com. Thekitchen.com spelled properly must have been taken. Kit told me about this, and this has her name in it. Ha 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 ha. Cat. Coincidence? I think not. This is how it looks. Can you see it? So it says ingredients: 1 medium head green cabbage. This is Napa cabbage, and it's probably medium-ish. And I use Napa cabbage because the leaves look like this. Can you see it? And so it's like a little boat, and I can put stuff in it and then fold it over and then have it like a sandwich. Also, Napa cabbage is arguably one of the most nutritious vegetables on the planet. It even beats broccoli and spinach. And then it also asks for 1.5 tablespoons of kosher salt. Pink Himalayan is my favorite because it's got so many good nutrients in it, and it's not bad for you like the normal traditional table salt is. Can you see it? Pink Himalayan, can you see it? And then 1 tablespoon of caraway seeds. I don't care for caraway seeds. Neither does Kit, so she didn't use it when she made hers either, but she said this recipe turned out fantastic. So, slice the cabbage, cut the cabbage into quarters, trim out the core, slice each quarter down its length, making 8 wedges. Slice each wedge crosswise into very thin ribbons. That's a little more than a quarter. So's this. So it looks like I did thirds. I'm sure that's not a deal breaker. So now I'm making ribbons out of these thirds. And as I chop, I put it in the mixing bowl. The bowl doesn't have to be that big, but I like big bowls, and I cannot lie. Gosh, if I had done quarters, this would be easier. Why don't I ever listen? Combine the cabbage and salt. So I'm gonna take the salt, I'm gonna go up on in here. Now, I'm gonna do it in the sink, so when I miss, it doesn't matter so much. Yeah, it's a good forearm workout. How about we go the other side, get my left supinators worked. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Let's see how much that is. That's only a third. Wow, let's keep going. Okay, I'm done. Attention span is maxed. So, Pink Himalayan goes back into cupboard and sea salt comes out of the cupboard. We do this. And that's about, so I guess that's 1.5 tablespoons, give or take. Begin working the salt into the cabbage by massaging and squeezing cabbage with your hands. At first, it might not seem like enough salt, but gradually the cabbage will become watery and limp, more like coleslaw than raw cabbage. This will take about 5 to 10 minutes. More forearm work. Apparently, I'm just massaging the salt into the cabbage and squishing the cabbage around 5-10 minutes to it's already starting to work. This recipe says 5 to 10 minutes, but my forearms are so strong and massive that I've condensed that down to 3 minutes. And on account of my attention span being so short, I can't stand this any longer. No. That's really cool. It's just soggy. So now we start putting it in a jar. I've got this Mondo awesome glass jar. Mason jars work great too. That's what the recipe recommends. And this water in here is cabbage water, so can't let that go to waste. Plus that's got some salt up on under. And it says every so often tamp down the cabbage in the jar with your fist. Not gonna happen. Next step is to weigh the cabbage down. This jar isn't gonna work for that. That's why they say get a mason jar with a slightly smaller jar. Put the slightly smaller jar in after the cabbage is in with rocks in the slightly smaller jar. The slightly smaller jar keeps the cabbage down. I didn't do any of that. I thought I'd have a better idea with my big old jar here. It's not a better idea, it's a worser idea. And then it says ferment the cabbage for 3 to 10 days. As it's fermenting, keep the sauerkraut away from the direct sunlight and a cool room temperature, ideally 65 to 75. Check it daily, press it down if the cabbage is floating above the liquid. Taste test it after 3 days. You can allow the sauerkraut to continue fermenting for 10 days or even longer. There's no hard and fast rule for when the sauerkraut is done. Go by how it tastes. Can you see it? Okay, I gotta say, it's only been a couple hours and that water level has risen noticeably, which isn't what I had expected, but it's kind of cool how that works that way. I had this baking sheet that I never use, and so I cut holes in it which double as circles to put inside of here. Can you see it? Can you see it? I think this is going to work. This has been fermenting for a week. I have no idea how this is going to taste and if this worked out at all. But if anyone is watching this video, that means it did work out. Because if it didn't work out, I would never post it. They say 3 to 10 days is the optimal time. Thank you. Let's try this out here. It's either going to be good. Well, there's 3 things it could be. It could be good, it could be meh, or it could be nasty. This is more than meh. This is actually good. Okay. It just tastes salty because that's all this is salt water and cabbage. Right. I didn't put any flavoring in it just because on my first batch I just wanted to see if the process would work, and it did. It's good enough to just eat by itself. Oh wow. Yeah. Wow. I was actually expecting it to suck. I've never done it before. I did not follow the directions. I improvised on my own stuff. Since it's just a simple fermentation process, as long as the cabbage is underneath the top of the water, so the air isn't touching it, that's all you need for the process to work.
All right, I'm gonna do this left-handed.
Yes. Train those nerves.
That's right. All right, here we go.
See?
That's pretty good. I like it.
Those are good bacteria. That's populating your gut flora.
Woo.
With
you hear that?
You hear that? Amazing.
You hear that?
Fat burning. Good metabolism.
We love burning
boosting.
fat around here.
Mm-hmm.
Boosted metabolism.
And immune boosting.
Ooh.
This is more powerful than a supplement. In fact, If I ever feel like I'm starting to catch a cold or something, I just mega dose on sauerkraut.
I didn't know that.
Knocks it right out. Yeah. Yeah. My only personal preference comment on this sauerkraut is a little bit too salty. I think I should not have added as much salt as I did when I added the extra water. But the upside to that is I don't actually get enough salt in my diet. So this will be a good way for me to get the salt that I need, which you need to keep that in mind too, because you could be in danger of being too low on your sodium. Because when you eat like we do, there's not the added salt that processed food has. Although the salt that's in processed food isn't actually real salt.
Yeah,
that's the store-bought stuff that's
anti-salt.
Yeah, it is. It's really bad for you.
Yeah.
The sea salt and pink Himalayan salt is actually a health food. It's good for you. We could have up to 7,000 milligrams a day, and we're fine as long as we're eating that stuff. It's the other stuff you have to limit.